home, we always begin Rosh Hashanah with apples and honey to symbolize the sweet new year. But in many Sephardic homes, they begin with the Rosh Hashana Seder and eat many different foods with different symbols. We spoke with the author of Apples and Pomegranates to learn how to incorporate this tradition at your table this year.
Rachel Muslea is from the Baghdadi community in Calcutta, India, so her Rosh Hashanah Seder traditions are infused with Middle Eastern and Indian flavors. Rachel based her book, Apples and Pomegranates, on the Rosh Hashanah Seder traditions that have been passed down in her family for generations.
We have a piece of paper that was printed in Calcutta about 100 years ago that has all the blessings. And I just thought this is such a wonderful custom that I would like to have other communities and individuals and families be able to share in.
Throughout the Seder, which only takes about 10 minutes, the family bites into small appetizers while making a symbolic blessing for the new year. The foods in Rachel's Seder include dates, cooked apples, pomegranate seeds, lettuce, spinach, beans, and green onions. Rachel's family starts their Seder off with dates, prepared by taking out the seeds and putting in a walnut.
I like to use medjool dates. They're nice and big and beautiful.
Many of the blessings involve verbal puns based on the Hebrew words for foods. Dates are tamarim in Hebrew, and the Hebrew blessing is sheitamu oivenu, that harm will come to our enemies. For a contemporary and more family-friendly interpretation, Rachel has included an English adaptation.
As we eat this date, may we date this new year with happiness, blessing, and peace for all.
Next comes the apples and honey, but Rachel puts a Baghdadi Calcuttan twist on this Rosh Hashanah staple, preparing a dish called apple moraba.
It's kind of like a version of baked apples, but on the stove.
For this dish, Rachel recommends using slightly tart, firm apples, which she peels and cuts into eighths.
And I'm going to put a clove in each of these apple eighths.
Then she brings half a cup of water to a boil with a quarter cup of brown sugar and a tablespoon of rose water.
The spices and the flavorings that are used are very common in the Middle East and in India.
When the water boils, Rachel adds the apples and simmers them covered, stirring occasionally for about 20 minutes. The dish is ready when the apples are softened and caramelized, but still retain some of their shape. This wonderful sweet apple dish is eaten with a blessing for a sweet new year. The other elements of Rachel's Seder include pomegranate seeds, with the many seeds in a pomegranate representing the good deeds one wants to do in the coming year. Steamed spinach or beetroot, called selek in Hebrew, over which we recite the blessing, she'estalki oivenu, that our enemies will retreat. Green beans, called rubia in the Talmud, over which we wish, she'yirbu sechuyotenu, that our merits will increase. And finally, chives, or other long onions, called karti, are used for the wish, she'ikartu oivenu, that our enemies will be cut off. Sometimes, Rachel has had to make adjustments to her family's traditional Rosh Hashanah Seder. Indian gourds have been replaced with pumpkin, both of which are called kra in Hebrew, and paired with the wish to tear away all evil decrees. Rachel also traded out the traditional sheep's head for a head of romaine lettuce.
This is my own invention because the wish is that we should be heads and not tails, leaders and not followers.
Some families use a fish head for this blessing, but not Rachel.
The Baghdadi custom is not to use a fish head because the word dag, which is fish, sounds like the word de'aga, which is worry.
If all of this seems a bit subjective, that's because it is. Every family can come up with its own ideas for symbolic foods and blessings, just like others have done over the centuries. But Rachel recommends making sure not all your symbolic foods are sweet fruits.
The world is bittersweet, and that's basically what we have here. We have a mixture of sweet things and savory things and things that are maybe not the things that we like the most, and that's the way life is.
And when it comes to New Year blessings, Rachel shares one more different Baghdadi tradition.
I'd like to wish you the traditional Baghdadi greeting, Tizku l'shanim rabot, may you merit many years.
The Jewish channel is available on cable. Iowa Cable Channel 291, Time Warner Cable Channel 528, RCN Channel 268, Verizon Fios Channel 900, and Cox Cable Channel 1. For more information, visit tjctv.com.